Hello everyone and welcome back, hope you're having a wonderful day and we're all doing well. So the brand new rework to Frost is finally on the test server for Rainbow Six Siege. Don't worry, this test server isn't for a brand new season, it's just for this Frost change. We still have a good while to go before we get another season. Now this rework is controversial to an extent. You have many people saying it is quite an unnecessary change. There should have been other operators who should have had a rework first. I agree with that. I think there is definitely other operators which should have been top of the list. However, what we have been given I think is pretty cool, and I think it adds more depth to an otherwise basic operator. And considering how popular an operator Frost is, I thought we should take a look at this rework and make sort of like an ultimate guide so you all know how to properly play Frost going forward when this rework does come, which is going to be in year 8 season 3, so we still do have an entire season until this rework does come. They just gave it to us a little bit early so we can get some early testing. So yeah, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're going to enjoy this video, and let's get into this. So what is the Frost rework? Now the term rework has been kind of chucked around and had a lot of different meanings in Rainbow Six Siege. Before, rework usually meant completely different, like the Tachanka rework where it got rid of his LMG, made it a primary and gave him a brand new Shamika launcher. Then ever since then, reworks have been kind of toned down a bit. You had the Thatcher rework, the gadget still works pretty much the same, but instead of destroying gadgets, it would only disable them. Then you had the Bandit rework, which just meant that you could put more Bandit batteries on the wall. So yes, this is a rework for Frost, but it still has the same essence of the gadget. She still has her traps, and if an attacking operator does step in the trap, they will be put in a down but not out state. Now before this rework, the only way to ever get out of a Frost map was to either be eliminated, or if a friendly attacker came along and physically pulled you out of the map. Since you're in a Frost map, Finka Boost never helped with this, since you were still stuck in the trap. With this new change, you as the individual in the Frost map can now pull yourself out. However, when you do pull yourself out, you will be on 20 HP and you will not be able to sprint. You will only be able to walk for the next 25 seconds. As well as this, you will leave a blood trail on the floor, showing a track of your exact footsteps to wherever you go, again for the next 25 seconds. So if you as the attacker jump in the Frost mat, you hold F, I can't remember which key it is on console, it's been a while since I've played console, and this will help you pick yourself up. Here you will then see a duration bar at the bottom left telling you how long your effect is active for, and as you can see, as you walk around, you'll sort of do a little limping effect, so your gun will move, and of course you cannot sprint until this duration is over and you are on 20 HP. As well as this, you'll make a loud moaning noise, depending on what operator you've got, maybe you'll enjoy that, but it is going to be a disadvantage because you are giving away sound cues. But something very interesting is Finka, although she won't be able to let you get out of the Frost mat, you still have to do the self-res animation, she will actually cancel out the effect which the Frost mat gives you. So if you jump in a Frost mat, pull yourself out and do a Finka boost, you will no longer have to limp and you'll just be back to normal. So actually a really massive buff for Finka when it comes to Frost mats. And of course this works for the entire team, so it's not even if it's the Finka who stands in the Frost mat, Finka does this for everyone. It completely rules out the effect, no blood, no more limping, and you get that little health boost as well. To me, this adds a lot of depth to the gadget, and I do think it is quite interesting. Many people will see this as a nerf to Frost. To be honest, I don't think I can argue with you on that. It is objectively a nerf to Frost, but I think it does add a lot more depth to her gadget. And as well as this, it's clear that the major reason why they have done this to Frost isn't because of Frost herself. Yes, she is a popular operator, but it's clear that Ubisoft are trying to tone it down a bit when it comes to traps, and I am honestly all for that. I'm not saying that they are trying to remove trap operators from the game itself, but they want there to be another layer of teamwork around it, rather than the gadget doing all the work. They're definitely trying to put Frost more in line with other operators such as Legion and Ella, where their trap will detonate, it won't necessarily kill the attacker, but it will put them in a state which allows you as a defender to then make use of that situation and eliminate that person. If someone hits Ella's trap, that is when you as the defender should swing them, take them off guard and get the elimination. This is definitely going to be the case with Frost going forward. Before, if you had a Frost mat in a window, an attacker jumps in and they're stuck in that Frost mat, if they have no teammate with them or no one, supporting them, they're either just going to get eliminated by someone shooting them, or they're just going to sit in that Frost mat the entire round until they bleed out. This change to Frost is going to have to make you, as the Frost player, a bit more savvy with your gadgets. You can't just place them willy-nilly and hope for some free kills. You're going to have to play beside your mats, you're going to have to know where your mats are placed, you're going to have some line of sights open maybe so you can see if anyone does hop in that map. You can't just randomly place them on any window on the map and catch people off guard. So is this change going to make Frost useless or bad? No. The reason I like this change is because it advises Frost players to play more around their gadget and how I think people should play Frost personally and how I like to play Frost. I'm going to give you an example to help understand how I've been playing Frost and how you should play her going forward with this rework. Right, so let's say you're a Frost player, you love placing Frost mats willy-nilly around the map. You can still technically do this. If someone jumps in that random Frost mat, they're still going to be on 20 HP. They can only get healed by, I don't know, if they find a Kona station, which a Thunderbird has left on the floor, or if they have a Finka on their team. But if you want to be the best Frost player you can be, you want to use the pressure of a Frost mat to help hold choke points off of windows specifically, allowing you to focus on a different situation. Honestly, the strongest part about a Frost mat isn't the fact that it can capture someone, it's the fact that any competent player will have to look directly down when they jump in a window. That is the advantage of a Frost mat. Yes, some people will just not look, some people accidentally step in one, and that is of course good, that is the gadget working, but forget all of that and just think about how this forces the attacker to get away from their ADS. They have to look straight down and pre-fire a Frost mat. This gives them something else to worry about and allows you as the attacker to take a head-on gunfight when they're not even looking in your direction. Now let's use Skyscraper as an example, and the reason why I want to use Skyscraper is because the balconies on Skyscraper don't really allow an attacker to play vertical on a window as close as they would like to. A lot of Frost mat locations in the game can be destroyed if you just go vertical close on the window and pre-fire straight down. This allows you to remove a Frost mat safely and not really give the defender any advantage. However, when it comes to the balconies on Skyscraper, you can't really get close to the windows themselves and you won't have a good location to remove a Frost mat. This means the only way to get rid of a Frost mat is to use utilities such as a grenade, a Flores, or physically jump in the window and pre-fire the Frost mat. So we'll use Exhibition Window as an example. You can call it Samurai Window, I hear so many different callouts for it. It's the window we're looking at. This is going to be a common hold from the attackers, especially if the breach is open. This is a very strong pinch point. And the reason why so many exhibition defenses fail is just because people overpeak this window. I do this myself, you know, I'm not perfect. I get a bit aggressive, I start peeking this window, I get picked by an attacker, I give them an advantage. You as a defender honestly do not have to ever peek this window, especially if you have a Frost. Especially when you throw in the shield which Frost has, throw in some Azami Kiva barriers, cover up some line of sights, and it will just make the person on this window waste even more utility and potentially just get absolutely no use out of this window. So where would the usefulness of the Frost mat come into play here? Let's say the attacker, you know, has drawn this. They know there is a Frost mat there. Let's say they have no grenades in hand, or you could have a Jaeger ADS on the window to help counteract that grenade. They have no way of clearing this with their utility. And in this situation, although Frost mats have been changed, although the attacker can pull himself out of the Frost mat, and although the attacker in this situation knows that the Frost mat is there, the attacker is at a massive disadvantage, and the only way this attacker can get an advantage is if you, as a defender, go away. Let's say the attacker knows that you're around the corner, they know that the Frost mat is there. They have two options. They can jump in, attempt to pre-fire the Frost mat, which requires them to look directly down, and they get swung by you and they lose. Or they're just going to ignore the Frost mat, focus on pre-firing you, get the pick on you, accept the fact that they've hit a Frost mat, pick themselves up, and suffer the consequences of being on 20 HP and not being able to sprint for the next 25 seconds. Will anyone do this? Probably not. Your average attacker is still going to focus on shooting the Frost mat rather than suffering the consequences, even if it means that they are going to get a kill on a defender. Most likely, they're still going to focus on the Frost mat, and that is why you, as the Frost, need to work alongside your gadget. Don't rely on the gadget to do everything. And that's why I like this rework for Frost, because it's forcing people to be like that. It's making it a bit less of a brainless gadget. A Frost mat on a window isn't really a threat to an attacker. If they drone it out, they know it's there, they can pre-fire the window and get on with their day. A Frost mat on a window and a defender hiding around the corner who's acting off that intel is a threat to the attacker, because that attacker has to try and balance two things out. They have to focus on shooting a Frost mat, which requires them to look directly down, and they also have to focus on this player attempting to take a gunfight on them as well. A lot of this will also come down to just how good you are at reaction time and aiming, but this definitely does add way more skill to her gadget. And let's be honest, I think going forward, if they are to add even more trap operators, this is necessary. We can't just keep getting trap operators after trap operators, especially when as an attacker, there's still not that many options to clear it. Yeah, Flores is good, Twitch is good, Zero is good, grenades are useful as well, but there's still a little bit of an imbalance I feel when it comes to clearing defenders' traps. So unless we get like an attacker, which is an absolutely overpowered, broken, anti-trap god, I think these little tweaks to defending trap operators are pretty much necessary to keep the game going forward. So I hope that little example I gave helps you understand, especially going forward with this rework, how you're going to have to play alongside your traps rather than allowing your traps to do all the work itself. Now we will see how Frost does perform after this rework, rework. I'm trying to help people understand that it isn't a massive deal. I think it's cool. I think you could still use Frost in a very useful way, but it does make it a bit more fair on the attackers. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but I'm worried that we're going to go into this change when it does come to live build with a mindset that Frost has been nerfed to oblivion, no one touches Frost ever again, when in reality a lot of people were just playing Frost on autopilot, and they're going to have to be a bit more aware of their gadget placements and when that attacker is going to make their push. As well as this, I think Ubisoft should make appropriate tweaks to the change when it does come to live build based off of, feedback and statistics of how she is performing. This could maybe lead them to even give her more Frost mats. That could be something which is quite plausible potentially, especially after this change has been put in place. I think something quite interesting is the footsteps that come out when someone jumps out of a Frost mat. I saw someone say if you have a Kavera on the team, like you should be able to track it like Jackal and it will show the entire team where that person is, sort of like a mini interrogation. It would be something quite interesting. Maybe not even do that to Cav, maybe make that to Frost herself. But I feel like then you're going to make Frost stronger than she ever was if that was a thing. And I think any competent player can just follow the bloodied footsteps themselves and realize where it's going. So yeah, Frost is a simple operator. There isn't much depth to her gadget until now. You're still going to use the gadget in a similar way, but you are definitely going to have to be a bit more strategic and smart with the placements and how you play around them. So if this does make it to the live build, which is most likely going to, play smarter with your traps. Frost is still going to be useful, and yeah, just don't instantly drop her, which it seems like a lot of people are thinking they're going to do. So be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the brand new Frost rework coming in year 8 season 3 of Rainbow Six Siege. I think it's an interesting addition to the game. I'm not fully against it. I just kind of wish that we started tweaking other operators before Frost. But hey, any change to a trap operator, I'm perfectly fine with. So be sure to drop a like on this video if you did enjoy, dislike it if not, subscribe if you're new, stay tuned for more Rainbow Six content. I shall catch you all later. I love you all, stay safe, peace.